Butker gave the Benedictine College class of 2024 commencement speech, where he openly talked about how the accomplishments of all the women in the crowd were adding up to nothing until they were going to become mothers and wives. He openly also attacked COVID-19 regulations and LGBTQ rights. Just yesterday, the nuns of the Catholic College came out and said that they denounce any statements that he made during his speech and that they do not agree with his statements. What do you do when somebody does something like this, where you are supposed to be celebrating and being excited about your next chapter, and someone comes in and does something like this? And now this commencement speech is not the only one to be fumbled. A great deal of colleges across the nation are choosing not to have graduation ceremonies because of the encampments going on in regards to the Israel and Palestine conflict that is happening. USC is one of these colleges that are not going to have a commencement, and if you are aware, this graduating class is the same class that graduated in 2020 from high school. So many of them have openly said, well, I'm not getting a high school graduation, I'm not getting a college graduation, and they are very disappointed. How do you deal with this disappointment? I was a graduating class of 2020 from college, and we did not have a commencement either. They had one a year and a half later, which, if you've left college, you know is worlds apart, and was very odd for a lot of us to come back after having been in a career for over a year and being in the same place where we grew up. But a commencement is a culmination of the past 17 years or more that you've been in school, and this is the final time that you get to be with that graduating class. So how can you cope with that? And when I had to graduate from my childhood bedroom and had my diploma sent to me, it was not quite the send-off that I was hoping to have, as I loved school and learning, but I had to come to the understanding and the realization that learning wasn't going to end for me, and if there were people who I was friends with or connected to that mattered, that were going to stay in my life past that, then one day, one set of weeks where we couldn't see each other wasn't going to affect that. Now I am not friends with almost anyone except for one person from my college. There's a variety of reasons for that, but if you are concerned that you may not be able to see your friends again because you're all going to be moving away, there's not an easier time in history to stay connected than it is right now. You can always call and text and message, and you can reach out and see each other, FaceTime, and everything is only a flight away or a car drive away, depending on how far they are. So what are the different emotions that you're feeling when you're graduating? There is a bittersweetness to it, and leading up to it, probably a million people are asking you, what are you doing next? What college dreams are you going to make true now? Are you getting married? Are you going to go right into a job? Are you moving away? Are you moving back home? There's a lot of questions that people are asking at this time, and you do not have to answer a single one of them. And it might be awkward in the moment to be like, I just don't want to talk about it, or changing the subject, but that is fully your right, and that you get to choose to do that. So one thing you're going to face is people asking you what's next, and you can simply say, I'm figuring it out, and leave it at that. You don't owe anybody an explanation or insight into the world that you are going to be in. And when people are telling you what to do, like Harrison is saying, or the colleges are choosing not to celebrate students in the way that they usually do, how do you not take it personally? When somebody stands there and tells you that your greatest accomplishments are based off of what they believe, how do you simply just let it roll off and move on with your life? Well, you have to understand that this is their viewpoint, and this is their decision to take their platform and to use it to spread this message. It is up to you to decide what you want to do in life. Harrison is not going to be there. The college board is not going to be there. Your roommate from freshman year isn't going to be there when you make the next decision for your life. And a lot of you are probably scared. You have a lot of student loans. You don't know how that first job is going to be. You think you're going to face imposter syndrome. So you're already dealing with a lot of emotions, and now you're having people tell you what it is that you will or will not be able to do once you leave school, and what it's all going to amount to. And the truth is, it does not matter what any of these people say. Your life is only going to ever amount to what you want it to and what you decide it means. I have been a practicing engineer for the past 4 years, and now I am faced with the decision of what do I want to do next. And that is an question that only I get to answer, and I will offer answers to that question to people as I see fit. Your life is on a need to know basis, and no one needs to know a single thing. Just because someone asks you something does not mean they are owed an explanation. And if someone reaches out that you don't want to, or somebody asks you a question that you think isn't okay for them to ask, you can say that too. Say, I don't want to talk about this. I don't think this is an appropriate thing to ask. And if you don't want to do that, you can simply ignore the question, change the subject, walk away, do what's right for you, because this is your time. This is your accomplishment that you're celebrating. There is no speech, no matter how grand or how awful, or a commencement or a day that is going to encompass everything that you've done over the last 17 years. A college graduation is not just a simple day, it is a culmination of every day that got you there, from your first day in first grade to your last day at that university. You are celebrating everything and every person you've been to up to this point, and promise you there's a lot more things to look forward to after college if you create a life that you are excited about and want to enjoy. If you ever get to a point where you're not excited about the life that you're living, you get to change it. And graduation is not the last time that you are going to decide what you're going to do with your life. This is a question that you will keep going back to the rest of your life. You may go into a certain field and realize it's not for you. You may completely switch out of what you studied. You have a lot of paths opening up in front of you, and you can choose one, choose another, and keep choosing, because this is your life and only you get to decide. It doesn't matter what Harrison thinks, or the board, or the college, or your friends, or your roommates, or your parents. This is your life, and you get to live it the exact way that you want to. And now there is the very obvious, well, you did want to celebrate with your friends and you wanted to go out and party, and you just didn't get it. And that was probably one of the hardest things I had to face, because my last 7 weeks of school were spent by myself in my parents' house, in my old childhood bedroom, doing 2 classes that I really didn't need to do anymore, and was the easiest term in school that I had my entire life. And it was supposed to be the time where I celebrated with friends and got together with them and shared with them. But there is positives that came out of it. I got to spend some more time with my family. I got to reevaluate what it is that I want and who I want to be in my life. And there was decisions I had to make to remove certain people and certain connections, and to decide what was right for me and not by someone else. And if you are in a position where you don't know where that next step is, where the next job is going to be, that is also not a feeling that is going to only exist once in your life. There will be times where you are gonna not like your job and try to find another, and you might be stuck there, and you might be transitioning. And even if you thought saying goodbye was going to mark a division in your life into the next chapter, the truth is you get to start a new chapter at any point in your life, and it does not have to be a marker like a commencement, a graduation, a birthday, a new year. It can happen right now and at any moment in life, and you can choose how many times it's going to happen or not. It's up to you. You have to decide for your life. And now, especially if you're graduating college or high school, you are being faced with very important decisions that are going to have consequences for a very long time. When I graduated, I had a lot of loans that I had to embrace and take on, and that is the reason why I studied the majors that I did, because I wanted to make enough money to pay off those loans. And I know it sounds almost counterintuitive. It's like, well, you didn't have to get that degree if you didn't want to. But at the time that I got them, I did want them, and I have fulfilled certain dreams that I've had, and now I am trying to figure out that next chapter and those next set of dreams that I want to figure out. So commencement is a fun day and it's a great day, but it's one that is only going to last a few hours, and then you'll say goodbye and then you'll leave, and you're probably gonna have to sit in the sun for like 4 or 5 hours while a list of different speakers come in and share. And there's a lot of great speakers. I think I've been to like 10 graduations, and there are plenty of great truths that can come from it, but I didn't get a college commencement speaker, and when they did redo it, they didn't have one then either. I think there was one person who spoke from our class who was chosen, but we didn't have an actual speaker. They probably didn't want to pay for 2 that year because the graduating class of 2021 had their commencement about 7 or 8 weeks before that. So it was very weird. We graduated in August of 2021, but we graduated in May of 2020. It was a very weird time, but we all got through it together, and because I didn't have a speaker, I picked one. Matthew McConaughey has an amazing commencement speech that he gave, and I must have listened to it 30 times that summer, just as a way to cope with what was going on. And he had a lot of great life lessons, and I will link it down below, just because if you didn't get a speaker or you didn't get this graduation, you get to recreate it in your own way and celebrate on your own time and in your own terms. When you're at a commencement ceremony, you don't get to choose a lot of what happens. You have to stand in the lines, you have to wear the gowns, and that's great and that's fun too, but you might still get the commencement gown. You can put that on, you can take pictures with your friends and your family, go out to the place where you want to get dinner and not be surrounded by thousands of other people trying to go to the same restaurants. You get to make it your own, and that's how I chose to see it. It sucked in a lot of ways, and then considering I didn't speak to most of those people that I was in college with after college, it was kind of really awkward. I didn't want to go to the commencement speech because I didn't want to see any of those people. And a lot of the times they say that your commencement is for your parents, and that's really what it was. My parents really wanted me to go, so I went. And honestly, at that point, I really didn't care. I saw those people. I don't even know if we interacted, and it honestly doesn't matter. If you are not in a relationship with someone, if you're not super close friends, what other people do on their day-to-day won't matter. And there was a lot of opinions my entire life about people who thought I should be doing this, or I'm not good enough to do this, or something else. And that's basically what this Harrison speech was trying to tell other people how to live their life and what their life means, and no one can actually do that for you. And there was incredible people who came out and talked about it even more so, but what he said isn't true, and that goes for a great deal of what is being said right now. A lot of people will tell you what you can and can't do, or what you should be doing, or what you should not be doing, and the reality is it's your life. And that is the underlying message of this entire channel, is to say it just doesn't matter what other people think, because it's your life. You are the only one who has to live with the consequences of your decision, whether you choose to go on and get married and have children. It is not Harrison or any of these other people who are telling you you need to do this, who are going to take care of that child, or who are going to have to pay for them, or who are going to be waking up in the middle of the night to take care of them. It is going to be you and the music, and that is it. So whatever decision you make, whether you want to be an engineer or an artist, you are facing those consequences every single day of every single moment. It is up to you to decide what you want and what you don't want. So whether your college is deciding not to give you a graduation, or you have a really shitty commencement speaker, or somebody else tries to ruin your big day, remember, every day is a big day, and yes, some are even more fun, but live your life for you and understand that a graduation and a gown and a piece of paper cannot define the experiences that you've had. There is no speech that's ever been written or said that could embody the entire range of emotions that you've felt going through school. They will not be able to reflect on the countless nights of worry and staying up trying to study for the test, wondering if you passed, meeting new people for the first time, and having your own apartment, doing laundry. It's never going to encompass all of that. And I want you to know that that's okay. And I actually enjoyed school so much and loved it so much that I wrote a book about it called Lessons from College, which was a way for me to commemorate my 4 years of school and just my entire learning career up until that point. 125 lessons that I plan on going through with you and sharing with you. And whether you've graduated college, you're going into college, never want to go to college, there are lessons in there that can showcase what it means to be a person that is observant and wants to be a part of this world. And at the end of the day, your story is unwritten, and this is just a blip in the Matrix. It is just a moment in time, and 5 years from now, I promise you, you won't be thinking about your graduation. 5 months from now, you will not be thinking about your graduation ceremony or the speech or whatever, or what this person said or the other one. You will be focused on the life that you're creating and choosing to embody. So please, if you are one of the people in his speech, or if you are one of the ones who've had an awful commencement speaker or don't even get a commencement, it will be okay. And this will just be another story to tell one day. But hold true to who you are, and don't let these people and their thoughts and their opinions get to you. Only you get to define yourself, and you get to write your story. They don't. It is only you on that byline. So I hope you got something out of any of these speeches, even if it was like, I never want to hear somebody say something like that again, and to see how many people were moved by this to share and to go against what he was saying, and that even the nuns of the school did. So let me know what you think about that video. It was quite the thing to watch, and I've only watched snippets of it. So let me know, did you have a graduation? Did you have a commencement? And if not, what did you do? How did you celebrate? I'll see you soon.